Alright, Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Shmi Ashah. The blind to Apostle GMS. My name is Amna Allah. Coming at you in the video. Basically, a few hours ago, when I was on my phone, I was watching a video. It wasn't a video dealing with the truth. I was just, searching through YouTube, watching different videos. And somebody put a comment on the comment board. And the comment they put on the comment board was, what you're looking at right here. It says, Ralph Waldo Emerson quotes, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." Alright? As a matter of fact, the video was about, it was a guy who was who did time in prison, and he was somehow rap music basically like led him down that path into prison. Basically he was brainwashed by the music, and somebody put on the comment board, "A man is what he thinks about all day long," and they quoted and they attributed that quote to Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor. So I did the research and kind of found out the quote wasn't by Marcus Aurelius. It was rather by a man named Ralph Emerson. And it says, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." Now I wasn't able to find a source of that quote, but Ralph Emerson was an American philosopher, and he was an essayist, and that's what he stated: "A man is what he thinks about all day long," which is true. Because if you think about something all day long, it's because your mind is heavily focused on it. And whatever your mind is heavily focused on, it eventually begins to form a portion of your character. It becomes a part of you. See, it says Ralph Waldo Emerson was an American essayist, lecturer, philosopher, and a poet who led the transcendentalist movement of the mid-19th century. Transcendentalist movement of the mid-19th century. He died April 27, 1882. So Spirit had me look up Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius. It says Imperator Caesar Marcus Aurelius Antonius Augustus was a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor from 161 to his death in 180. Born Marcus Annius Catilius Severus, at marriage he took the name Marcus Annius Verus. When named emperor, he was given the name Marcus Aurelius Antonius, and afterwards became known as the last of the 5 good emperors. See? Sure, I gotta get into there, but when I looked up one of his quotes, this is one of his quotes. Marcus Aurelius had wrote something called Meditations. It says Meditations ta is Houghton, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't think so, but it says literally things to oneself. It's a series of personal writings by Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD, recording his private notes to himself and ideas on Stoic philosophy. So Meditations was personal writings written by Marcus Aurelius, and he recorded his private notes. These are private notes to himself and ideas based upon the Stoic philosophy that he believed in. I'm not going to go into Stoic philosophy. I went into that in another show. I went into that on another show years ago, and that's why it was called Meditations, which means things to oneself. And in the Meditations, in book 4, he wrote a quote similar to Ralph Emerson. And through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, we're going to read this quote, and we're going to bring us up some scriptures to link it together. Okay? So I can find this real quick. This is the Meditations. Alright? Mediterranean Meditation circa 121 to 180 AD. I'm going to go to book 4. It says the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. And that's through the spirit of Yahweh Shah. Which we all know it goes back to Yahweh Shah. Because the scripture tell you it's not a man that to direct his steps. I believe that's maybe Jeremiah 10:23. So you know our life is made by Yahweh Shemel Shah. Our life is guided by Yahweh Shemel Shah. But it says our life is what our thoughts make it. In other words, your life is going to be a reflection of your thoughts. Why is that? Because whatever you're continuously thinking upon, that's what you're focused on. That's what your heart is inclined to. And what your heart is inclined to, you eventually begin to act on it because it becomes a part of you. Alright? So now let's go to some scriptures to deal with that, to link up with that. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. It says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee." Now I could break the whole thing down, but you know, let's go into eating not, don't eat with a person that have an evil eye. That's what that's referencing. But the main, which tells you that in verse 6. But the main point I want to get to is verse 7, the beginning of verse 7, where it says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." So as one thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you're a person who's continuously meditating upon the scriptures, then what's written in the scriptures is going to become a part of you. You and the scriptures are going to become one. Alright? You and the scriptures are going to become one. To the point when you don't even have the Bible, yet the scriptures are still continuously in your mind. And whatever it is that you do, whether you're going to a restaurant to eat something, whether you're going to the supermarket to buy something, you're thinking not to buy anything unlawful. You watching the guy that's cooking, making sure he ain't putting nothing that ain't supposed to be put on your food that's unlawful. Why? Because that's written, the dietary law. You can find out about that in Leviticus the 11th chapter. Alright? And because that's written in the scriptures, and your thoughts are continuously upon the scriptures, and the scriptures become a part of you, what you then do is, what then occurs is, the scriptures begin to form your character. Okay? Go to the next scripture. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 21. It says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." And that's true. Whatever it is that you treasure, whatever it is that you highly value, there will your heart be also. Your heart meaning your mind. So whatever it is you find precious, because a treasure is precious. Precious meaning what? High in value. High in quality, yet low in quantity. Okay? So something that is a treasure is something that's precious. And whatever is precious is high in value, is high in quality, yet low in quantity. Meaning it's not much of it. And being that it's not much of it, that's what makes the quality so great. That's what makes it so expensive. So for where your treasure is, whatever that you value, highly value, look at it being great quality. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Meaning there will your heart or your mind will be inclined to. So if you're one whose heart is inclined to the scriptures, then guess what? The scriptures are going to be your treasure. If you're one whose heart is inclined to woman, then guess what? Woman's going to be your treasure. If you're one whose heart is inclined to this world, then guess what? The world is going to be your treasure. And what the scriptures say? Because speak about the deceit, the world speaks about the deceitfulness of riches. Choke the word. Alright? That's in the book of Matthew. Because that was a person whose heart was inclined to the world. Their heart was so inclined to the world, that was one who sowed the seed among thorns. Their heart was inclined to the world. And guess what? The thorns choke the word because the word is the seed. You take the seed, you sow the seed, which means to scatter the seed. When the seed goes in the soil, the seed grows. When it's watered properly and get correct sunlight. But if that seed is sown among thorns, if it's sown in the soil that a bush of thorns is in, then when that seed begins to grow into a plant, all of the stems and the branches that grow out of that seed are going to become tangled up in that bush of thorns. And it won't be able to flourish, it won't be able to become fruitful. That's those who incline their heart into this world. You say how you link the scriptures up? This is Psalms chapter 1 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh Shemel Shah. And his law doeth he meditate day and night. Did we just read something out of the Meditations? Look at the word meditate. Hagah. And it says to murmur and pleasure or anger, by implication to ponder, imagine, meditate, mourn, mutter, roar, soar, speak, study, talk, utter. To meditate, divine, muse, imagine. So we're continuously imagining and musing and devising and meditating on this truth, thinking deeply. And like we read here, that word meditations, it transliterates this right here, transliterates, okay, this right here, let me go back, this right here transliterates literally to things to oneself. So when it says he meditate upon the Lord day and night, meaning he thinks upon those things to himself, they're continuously in mind. Alright, so the scriptures is always coming first. There's other scriptures I can go to, but you know, when you see it on my phone, you can clearly see it's 1:22 a.m. So one more thing. Hopefully this video has light, you know, because for some strange reason, some of my videos been black. I have absolutely no idea why. Some of them been black, some of them recorded, I don't know. But hopefully y'all brothers can see this. If not, then Lord willing, to the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah, just do it over. So with that, I'm going to close and say, oh, praise Yahweh Shemel Shah, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. I hope you brothers learn something. Shalom.